We're recording.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
Good to see you all. We left town yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
And we're already in Colorado, Glen Springs, Colorado.
Glenwood Springs, Colorado. We went through Utah, which is a beautiful state, but it's also beautiful here in Colorado.
Yeah. We're here today. We're just stopping on our way to Denver. And then tomorrow, I think we're going to make our way all the way to Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri.
Yes.
That's really our destination. And we'll be spending the rest of the week there before we head back to California and get back mid next week. But for right now, we wanted to stop. This is someplace we stopped just a few months ago when we traveled
to Texas.
Oh, okay. Different trip. Anyway, today marks a 1-year anniversary date for something very, very special that we were able and privileged to do last year. And so we wanted to go, well, we actually attempted to go live just a couple hours ago, and that was a fail. So just because connection's bad. Bad. It was choppy, and the quality was so terrible. We came back, and here comes a train again.
On the other side of the river. Yeah. We love it.
So give it a minute, it'll pass, and then we'll continue on. But
it's beautiful out here.
Yeah.
It's beautiful out here.
And the weather is beautiful. It's perfect. The right temperature and everything. Okay, so there goes the train. So as I was saying, today marks a 1-year anniversary of something we got to do that was very, very special last year. For about a year and a half before that, I had been getting downloads, having encounters with God. And many, I understood a little bit of what the interpretation was about. Some of the interpretation was applicable for the moment, for the day. And there were things in some of these encounters that I knew weren't quite complete, and maybe they would come together at a later time. And so during the early part of the summer last year, COVID had already hit, and God began to put pieces together. I had more encounters, and these encounters are dreams. These are hearing His voice. These are other, ways that He would communicate. But all these encounters began to form a picture and give clarity to what God was telling me. And what ended up happening is October 25th of last year, Joe and I embarked on a journey to complete some very powerful prayer assignments that God had given us through those encounters. And starting October of last year, at this time, we began a journey in Upland, California, which is our hometown, and it was spot number 1, location number 1, that God had something specific for us to do. And then we traveled towards the East Coast all the way to Bethesda, Maryland. And there were 12 specific locations in between, actually from beginning to end, that we were to visit. And we did that just before the election last year. And we completed an assignment to dismantle a power grid that the enemy had been using to gain access and to have dominion, giving power to territorial spirits over the nation. And what was amazing is, as I was in the process of getting the complete understanding for that first journey, little did I know that there would be a second part. And it was in August of last year that God reminded me of a dream that I had in April 2017, and gave greater revelation to nuggets from that dream that I didn't understand at the time, but totally came into clarity last year. And that second part of the dream is really the highlight of everything that He's been showing me these past few years, but it's the middle part of a 3-part prayer assignment. The first part was to dismantle a power grid and make the territorial spirits essentially deaf, dumb, and blind to the movement of the ecclesia. And I believe that's why we see so much rising up right now, the confidence in the Christian community and the God-fearing, Holy Ghost-filled believers across our nation. I love seeing what Sean Foyt is doing, what just other folks are doing across the nation. There's a lot of names that are coming up that haven't been familiar in the past, but that are becoming much more familiar now as prophetic voices and voices of movement, of activation for the kingdom. So we started the journey October 25th, and we ended in Bethesda, Maryland. I think it was the last day of October.
I think so.
From there, we traveled 8 miles up to Washington, D.C., and we spent 2 days there just before the election. And on Sunday, was it Sunday or Monday? I'm not sure. One of those days before Election Tuesday. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
No.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So we just wanted to get the heck out of Dodge before the election actually started to go down. And as we recall, there were shop owners that were boarding up their windows and doors. And
it was crazy.
There was a whole ton of people there and activity that we, we're happy to be there before Election Day, but did not want to be there when the real activity really started.
No, but while we were in D.C., God did give us a prayer assignment and actually we kind of stumbled upon it, but it was powerful.
Yeah, we knew that Bethesda, Maryland was going to be the end of the first part. And as we went through and we dismantled this power grid, we thought Washington would be a nice little 2-day break before we started a second journey, or the second part of that journey that he gave us, and he revealed that to us in August. But little do we know that the time we thought we were taking a break in DC actually turned out to be prayer assignments there as well.
Yes.
And they would become apparent to us many months later. So we weren't even aware we were on a prayer assignments. We did some things there that we felt led to do, and then discovered later how significant they really would become. But the second part, I want to make sure we give time to that.
Yes.
After we left Washington, D.C., we went up to New Jersey, and I tell you that God had brought to my remembrance a dream from April of 2017. And in that dream, there was basically a name. I'm just going to try to summarize it quickly here. But there was a name that was given in the dream, and it's Elizabeth Madrid. And the name did not fit for what the dream was about. And so there was 2 applications for the dream. One was a word for the country of Spain in April of 2017, and then it might have been 2018, 1920, 2018. And so, but the name stood out, and it didn't fit, and there's other reasons why it didn't. So I just held on to it, made a note of it, and I didn't get an interpretation for it until August of last year. In August of last year, God led me through a journey to research the name Elizabeth as a city. In the United States. And I discovered that there are 9 Elizabeths in the United States. And the first one is from the east coming to the west. The first one begins in New Jersey, Elizabeth, New Jersey. And then there are a total of 9. The last one was marked in Elizabeth, Colorado. And we're not too far from there now. And what was amazing about this is just a few months before August of last year, through another portion of discovery for these journeys, God led me to do research and discover the original Hebrew hieroglyphics for the Hebrew language, for the Hebrew alphabet. And so I was familiar with some of these images and what they looked like and what they represented. And so now fast forward to when I'm plugging in Elizabeth, and I was curious to see where these towns would be marked on the country. I wanted just to get a sense for where they would show up. And so I used what I was familiar with, which was MapQuest. I plugged in Elizabeth and the different states, and I put them in order from the east to the west. And as they populated the screen, I had no expectation for this, but what it revealed was as a map. It showed up as a map, and it was 2 Hebrew letters. And since I started from right to left, they actually presented as if they were being written in Hebrew. And the 2 letters are Aleph and Lamed. Okay? For those who don't know Hebrew, like I didn't up until a year and a half ago, in terms of what they represented, I discovered that these letters are, they represent the word El, like in El Shaddai, okay? Elohim. And the name Elizabeth is actually a transliteration of the Hebrew name Elisheba. So El, again, shows up in the beginning of her name. And this is it means oath. It means God, of course. Elizabeth, I should say, means oath. And El means God. So I put that together along with some other synonymous meanings that lead to covenant, that give a sense of an oath, a commitment, a promise, a declaration, a decree, and together as married with God's name, with the El, it translates to covenant. And what was amazing is once I saw this map and I already knew I had an assignment to travel in one direction to complete a prayer assignment, I then realized that God was giving me a second part of the same journey, to then traveling from the East Coast back to the West Coast to brand his name on our nation.
Yeah, and as we were looking at this map of the United States with the Aleph and Lamed on top of the map, we realized that God has branded his name on top, over this nation, which means that we truly are one nation under God.
Yeah. Because
he's entered into covenant with this nation.
Yes. We believe that it was actually God declaring that his love for America, and the reality and truth that we belong to him.
Yes.
The devil has no claim to this land and to its people. And I believe that it was intended to be an encouragement, an inspiration, a green light, perhaps even to be the people we were created to be, sons and daughters with power and authority and dominion, and to stop acting like cowardly sheep, being muzzled and isolated, which is totally from the enemy. None of that is from God whatsoever. So let's recognize that and be real and understand that our God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. And we have authority to trample on serpents and to push back against the enemy. If God is telling us to who we are, reminding us that we belong to him, then will he not also defend what is his and respond to the prayers and declarations according to his promise as we give life to these words? It's his breath in our lungs. Let's use it. Let's take a toll against the enemy.
Yeah, take back territory, I think, is something you said.
Yes.
But as I'm thinking about it, and I realize God has given us this territory back already.
Yes.
We need to possess it now. To possess the territory God's already returned to us. So in that sense, we are taking back territory that the enemy unrightfully tricked us into believing it was his. It never was. Never has been.
Yeah.
This was our assignment. But how many other people are out there with assignments? You have an assignment.
Yeah, Sandra. Yeah.
But every single one of you have an assignment. Yeah. What is God doing in your life?
Let me lay this out really quick. Now, there is so much information. We are not going to be able to present it all right here in these few minutes. We're so glad and appreciative for those of you who are continuing to watch and listen. We plan on within the next few weeks to provide more details and to do it in portions and sections so that it all makes sense, so that there's a connectivity between the revelation, scripture, what God is telling us about not only what he wanted us to accomplish, but why and how the enemy gained access. I can tell you it's witchcraft.
Yes.
There are things that have been, doors that have been open since the very beginning, from the fall in the garden. And I have an understanding, and I'm sure there's others out there that do as well, for what it looks like, what it has translated to become and morphed into in our present day. And we'll talk about that, and I'll share with you the revelation of strategy that God has given us to take it all back, to undo what the enemy has done, to have authority and to do the ungodly things that he's been allowed to do because we haven't taken our place and taken back territory and possession of what God gave to us to begin with. But in the next few weeks, as we share, we hope that you will become inspired and encouraged and motivated to take action. To take action and take back territory, the territory of your mind, your body, your finances, your home, your family, your job, your city.
For those of you that, and even beyond this with the vineyard background, John Wimber used to say that this is not a spectator sport. Everyone gets to play. Everyone is involved in the kingdom.
Yes.
You have an assignment.
Yes. So look forward, please, to the future videos that we'll be presenting. We will try to give a notice or a reminder, an invitation before we go live. We apologize for the poor quality of what we attempted earlier today. We thank you for rewatching this.
Yeah, we'll post this one later, but
we'll post it later.
You'll know that when you watch it.
Yes, and and would you also like and share and follow through whatever social media app that you're watching this through, and just let us know if you have any specific questions, if there's something that we didn't cover well enough. Let us know. We'll be happy to give more information on those details. And it's really important, I should say, that we just get this and get it now, because we have a total green light and an opportunity to undo a lot of damage that the enemy has done, and we need to get it done, because as the word shows us, when the people of God don't take action, bad things happen.
That's right.
When we do, then we turn things around, and we need to turn things around now. So it's up to us to get on board, to partner with God's strategy and recognize what our part is.
We're all citizens of the kingdom. Let's go take back the land that was taken from us.
Yes.
Let's do this together.
Yes. Bless you guys. Thank you for watching.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.